Breaking news, Fox Carolina investigates obtaining a new document shedding light on a state investigation into former Spartanburg County Sheriff Chuck Wright.
And Chief Investigative Anchor Justin Doherty and Senior Investigative Reporter Grace Runkle are joining us now to go in depth on what we've learned today.
Well, Carrie, Tori, sources sent us a letter which lays out exactly what state investigators are looking into and this brand new insight into this case.
Yeah, this letter says the State Law Enforcement Division is recommending Wright be charged with 4 different offenses, but we want to emphasize Wright has not been charged with anything yet. Those possible charges outlined in the letter include misconduct of a public official, use of office for financial gain, obtaining certain drugs by fraud or deceit, and breach of trust with fraudulent intent. The letter itself was sent from the Attorney General's office to 2 upstate solicitors. The subject, the SLED investigation. The letter says Solicitor Barry Barnett, who prosecutes cases in Spartanburg County, requested a different solicitor handle the case because of his prior professional and personal relationship with the former sheriff. It goes on to say Solicitor Micah Black in Anderson County will take over the case. Now, this letter in itself is standard procedure. We've seen it in other cases involving alleged misconduct from public officials, but again, this letter is the first time we've been able to see that Wright is under a state criminal investigation.
Now, the letter also reveals the charges being considered against another former employee of the sheriff's office, Amos Durham. Durham was the chaplain. He resigned in May. I spoke with him over the phone at that time, and he told me he resigned because he got another opportunity. Well, the letter says SLED was investigating him for breach of trust with fraudulent intent.
Now, the state investigation is just one of 3 that Wright is currently facing. We first reported on April 2nd that Wright was the subject of an active FBI probe. He's also under a state ethics investigation, and Wright took a leave of absence starting back in April. He returned to the job 7 weeks later and then resigned just days after that.
Now, from the moment Wright first took his leave of absence, we've been asking questions about why. And we've gotten a lot of different answers. The new emails we received through an open records request show the county seemed to be just as confused as we were. Now, this letter we got is Wright's official transfer of power notice. In it, he says he will be taking an extended leave of absence because of, quote, circumstances outside his control. The records we obtained also show a master deputy forwarded this letter to the county administrator, saying Wright told them the leave was for an extended but undetermined amount of time. Now, Wright returned to the job on May 19th and then resigned just days later. In Wright's official resignation letter to the governor, he said he was resigning for medical reasons, but there's no mention of that in this letter that he sent at the beginning of his leave. Now, we have made numerous attempts to contact both Wright and the former chaplain. However, we have not heard back. And again, it's important to note here that they're not facing any charges right now. And coming up at 4:30, I'll be going in depth with our legal analysts to explain what these documents could mean for the investigations into Wright.
And this is a story we first reported on today in our Fox Carolina News app, so you can find all of our previous coverage there as well on Wright, his resignation, and the pending investigations at foxcarolina.com. Just click on the Investigates tab.
All right, Grace and Justin, thank you for that update. Of course, we'll be following the story closely, bring you that first alert. I know we'll see Grace a little bit later in the show as well as Justin.
If there's something you think we should investigate, send us a tip. The email is on your screen. It goes directly to our investigative team. We'll leave it so you can grab your phone and take a picture. You can send us what's happening and why you think we should look into it. For more of our investigative team stories, just head to foxcarolina.com and click on the Investigates tab.